Hello, ladies and gentlemen, loved ones, friends, descending listeners, viewers, wherever you are. I greet you and wish you a happy, wonderful day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we have to rejoice and be glad in this day. I don't know about you, but I'm happy I'm alive. And I'm very excited that coronavirus is still in the system, and we're working towards modalities and the way to get rid of its effect on the beings that God has created. But until you are infected or until you are affected, live a positive life. For those of you in Ghana who have been asked to stay home, please stay home. I have only one challenge in the country, that in Ghana, we don't know our daily infection rate. We don't know how we are infected, because this disease itself is the disease of the rich, the affluent. It's not for the poor. But because when two elephants fight, is the ground that suffers, the underprivileged are still going through challenges and pain that those of us who are privileged in a third world country must support our friends and loved ones who are underprivileged. When we are locked down, our expectation is that our daily infection rate should be known, so as to make us believe that our lockdown and staying home is actually an evidence of reduction of the cross-infection. So essential service providers will know that they are going out and coming in is essential, because those who are home are secured, and those of us who are going up and down are facing the risk of being infected, because the daily rate of infection has been clearly stated to us. But I see that in Ghana, it looks difficult for us to know how many people are infected daily. The reason being that we don't have the infection rate of daily infection that we get. Noguchi says they have the capacity to do 800 tests a day in Accra. I don't know the statistic for Kumasi and the reference lab. It means that if we want to have a daily test, we can be able to do it. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, yesterday spoke. And to my surprise, he made it clear to us for us to believe the number of tests that we're waiting for the results, so that at the end of the results, we can know the number of people who are infected, and that will inform the expansion or the increase of our 2 weeks lockdown, or the extension or the cancellation of the lockdown. It baffled my mind, because if 800 tests can be done in a day, why pile up 15,000 to be done and await the results? But better still, I'm just a medical practitioner. He's the president. And in times like this, health formatics are very essential. But His Excellency the President, the buck stops with him. And I pray for him every day, because the decision he makes is what I call and what I studied called health formatics. What a health practitioner gives evidence of clinical notes to those who are information technology, so that they convert it into data and is read out as health formatics, or health in information technology. That's what it's all about. Health formatics. It's nothing big. So I pray that we don't know our contact rate daily. So those of you who have been asked to stay home, please stay home until we get to know how we are infected. Now we are doing contact tracing, because the rich people have come to affect the poor ones who don't have money for tickets to travel to Abuja. The disease has been clearly stated by His Excellency the President, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, number one, that the disease is not an in-house disease, it's a traveler's disease. So Chinese virus has come to us because some specific people traveled, and out of their travel, they have brought us the disease, and those of us who are poor are fighting it. The amount of mobile money that we're doing every day for people who are crying, even if some are pretending and they are lying, I think that it is a wake-up call that Councillor Lutterodt Fan Club, our idea that I discovered, we need to form a club that will help people. We need to stand up for it. A club that will help people to save and to keep the few cedis that they have made. I think it will help, because the frustration of people, everybody calling everywhere. You leave a radio station and you have more than 20 phone calls within less than an hour of everybody who needs some mobile money, of not so much money, 30 cedis. Some are asking for common 10 cedis. I've never done 10 cedis mobile money before. It's not pride, but I have not done it before. There are people who are crying and they don't need anything, but all they need is just 10 Ghana cedis. Senna, thank you so much. This is my senior man who is there. Senna, thank you so much. This is the first time I'm seeing you live, watching me live on Facebook. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. And a happy belated birthday. I saw your birthday and I don't know what's going on. When I finish my live, we'll speak. Thank you so much. I hope you are taking good care of yourself in this Chinese virus. And I call it the virus of the rich and the affluent. So we're going to discuss how to manage ourselves at home as husbands, as single people, how to manage our anxiety and our stress. Because even His Excellency the President is going through a particular phase of stress. Within the budget allocation for the year, we didn't see coronavirus coming. Even though prophetically a prophet spoke about a virus that will come and will start from the Chinese, little did we know that the affluent, the rich, will bring it to us that will suffer what we are suffering now. The lockdown is a good initiative by His Excellency the President, so he could get people stay, so they could take the contact directly from them. And the purpose is being achieved. That as often as we do the contact, we have some results from the people who have traveled and are in. I'm happy when the Immigration Department came out to say that if you house anybody who has traveled and has not reported, you'll be held responsible. All the initiative going on, I like it. I think that the SOPs is what I'm still waiting for to have clarity. Because people can cross from other places and get to another stop by a police, clears them to go because they are qualified to go. They get to another spot, another policeman says you cannot go. I want all of you to return or get out of the car. Anyhow you go, I don't care. Or look for another opportunity to go. Not that they are transporting them into another movable vehicle that can take them to their destination. So we drive from home and we meet a lot of people who, one way or the other, need our help. So we could bring them to, as it were, their destination. The transport unit His Excellency Nanado has provided. Let me say emphatically that it is clear the buses are in town, or they will be in town, or they have started in town. But I still see stranded health service providers, policemen, fire service, who one way or the other are looking for help. And I think Sogohima, my one and only Kukua Adepa, something slim, is watching me. The first time I've seen Sogohima on Facebook Live. Sogohima, I'll give you credit on Thursday for coming. So when I come and I mention the number, please write it. And the network I won't tell you. But if you're able to hook the number up, you pick it up on your network. Tomorrow, before I do my presentation, I'm going to give credit for free. But usually, I don't mention the network before I give my credit. So if I release the credits and you are smart enough to look for the network, so be it. It will be yours. So Goima, thank you so much for coming. So His Excellency the President spoke yesterday. There are so many conflicts on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen one of them. The health workers are struggling and asking who are frontliners, who are not frontliners. Is the 50% across for all health workers? Or is those who are having direct contact with the patient? Who has direct contact with the patient and who doesn't have direct contact with the patient? Because the regular routine in a hospital is that today, the 2 doctors that are affected, it will start a contact tracing. The administration block has put a notebook down, find the last places they went. They go to human resource. They go to the director of medical affairs. They climb the staircase and go up there. They go to different places within the hospital. So even the 2 cases that have been declared positive in the hospital, it was saying that it's only for frontliners. It will start contact tracing. It will go down to the extent that even the cleaner in the hospital is also affected. I think that His Excellency spoke, but the rest of us who are descending and can think deep and can analyze should begin to think whether the frontliners are those who have direct contact with the patient or any other person who is a health worker. Should this time be also cushioned with their 50% so that things will be okay? I'm not a president. I'm not a minister of health. I have no power. My level is to talk and to bring tensions down. The communication going on Facebook by health workers, their families and friends, is not healthy for the level of discussion we're going. When people begin to withdraw their spirit and their team spirit because they are not frontliners, it will affect the health system. I wish that His Excellency the President and the Minister of Information, Honorable Kojo Nkrumah, and the Minister of Health will come out with a better modality before the month end. That people walk to the bank and they will be disappointed, or they will be very, very excited. Health is important, and let's all take good care of ourselves. Don't have the virus and be brought to any of the hospital. Don't have the virus and be brought to any of the hospitals. Because from where I sit, you coming into the hospital area because you are infected is not the best news. But you staying at home and not being infected is the best news. That would be. We are learning. So when you come, share the page. I keep telling people every day, it is not about me. It's about the knowledge we are impacting into your life. There are a lot of people who cannot pay for the service I render. But when I come like this, I'm paying for my data, and you are paying for yours, and we are enjoying a stable network so we could learn. I like questions. I like people challenging me to go and learn them more. I read wide. I read every book. I read everything that is readable, so we can meet the answers and questions that people will post on us. Share the page. Share, invite your friends, and let's begin to explore knowledge. So far, I promised this country that we have to manage what we call domestic violence during this time of the lockdown. A lot of people are having challenges at home, and especially men are getting a lot of challenges from their wives, and wives are getting a lot of challenges from their husbands. Thank you very much for everything you are doing. Happy birthday in advance. Thank you very much so much. And I have told you that from the beginning of 1st of April, I'm taking my birthday present because of the lockdown. Coming to think about something, we the pastors are giving and giving and giving. None of our members are thinking of coming to bless us. Only few people are having the opportunity to say, we join you to go and donate. I'm not talking about donation. But when will members also see the importance in going at this time to go and bless their pastors? When will members say that it's not about my offering, but man of God, you've been good to me, standing as a servant of God, be my shepherd. I want to bring you this. How many of you have bought rice to give to your head pastor and his family? Have you attempted feeding their home, or you're expecting them to feed? The Bible makes it clear to us that when the disciples were with Jesus Christ and the people were hungry, when he was preaching the word, he told disciples, feed them. They said, no, a year's wages cannot even feed these people. Then they chanced on a young boy who has 2 loaves of bread, 2 fishes, 5 loaves of bread, brought it to the master. He blessed it, and he served 5,000 men, including women and children, and he took 12 baskets away. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever you have, don't just give it. Speak on it by the servant, and it will be multiplied. The Bible says that for those who share with you spiritual things, do not withhold from them physical things. Have you blessed your man of God? Have you blessed your man of God in times like this? There are men of God who are doing full time. And until the tithe and the offerings comes to the storehouse, nothing runs for them because that's what God called them for. When was the last time you bought some plantain, some yam, some gari to the house of your senior pastor and his wife and children? Maybe you think they don't need it. But when it's abundant in their home, they will now in their discretion even feed others. I know it will not sound clear to you, but this life we are living, things that sound clear are difficult to understand. Tonight, I want to encourage all of you and thank those who have supported Counselor Lutterodt Foundation for Health, Asthma and Diabetes. This foundation supports people with asthma and people with diabetes. We've included pregnant women and people with disability so we could help them during this COVID-19 moment. Those who are asthmatic, we are giving them unscented sanitizer so they will not have crisis. The same way people who are 60 downwards and are diabetic, we're also supplying them with some sanitizers. We can't supply everybody. But encouragement is that if you can afford, don't come for the one that we're giving. But if you can afford, but you don't know where to buy it, come for one bottle and buy the rest. The other challenge here is that I can identify all to give to them. But when you go and you want to take, remember, we didn't get it for free. We bought it. So you too, get us some money and help to buy for other people. So by the grace of God, latest by Thursday, our donation will start. Kolabuti Hospital will get a package. Rich Hospital will get their package. We'll give some police stations and some orphanage homes that have grown-ups there who are diabetic and are asthmatic. I think the Lord will bless all of you who have helped us. May He continue to keep us going. How are you feeling in your house? Can I get some husbands coming on my timeline to tell me how it is? Suarez, the comedian, used the alphabets to define what coronavirus is doing. And I think that the Y has been one of the funny ones that everybody is taking. Y means, yeah, you didn't know, literally meaning our wives have kept us home and we have nowhere to go. How many husbands are believing that their wives have kept them home and they have nowhere to go? Especially those of you who are not very essential to this country called Ghana. Unessential service providers have been identified this time and they are home. They have posh cars, they can't drive. They have the desire to leave their homes, they can't go. The loitering around, we don't know how far you can go depending on the environment. But how are you faring? How is it being like? Today is my birthday, please. Help me thank God. In fact, 38 years today. Wow. Kobla Eric. Above foam inside carnation. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Oh, I have the first husband to come and tell us how he feels. Far away from Ghana. How does it feel to be locked home? Where you can't move around. Ike Donko says it's boring. I saw Shatawali's video before the Faith concert and he was screaming, I'm bored. Happy birthday to you, Eric. May the Lord bless and keep you. May His face shine upon you. May He be gracious unto you. This month of April, it shall be gracious because we are going to do a birthday party for all April borns. Whatever the lockdown is, there's going to be a party. And it will be a Facebook Live party. I'm learning something, how to share, connect a lot of people at the same time to watch ourselves on Facebook. I hear there's a software, something. I'm working towards it. I'll buy it. So our birthday party, the last day of April, there's going to be a big party for all of us. Happy birthday, April borns. We are special. Yes. May God bless and protect you all. Wow. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Share the page and let's go. Husbands, how is the feeling like staying home, locked down with your wife and children and your mobile phone? Wives, how is the feeling like locked down with this man who is the most busiest man in Ghana, whilst you just realize that unfortunately he's not very essential in Ghana? Share with us how the feeling is like to live with a husband who has never been used to be in a house. Some wives are complaining that when they get to the sitting room, their husbands go into the bedroom. When they get to the bedroom, their husbands move to the study room. Because your house is big. Imagine you're running a chamber in a hall. When you move to the bedroom, what will your wife move to? When you move to the sitting room, what will your husband move to? It is just 2 rooms. Pia, Neasa. Chamber hall. No place. Some are complaining that the husbands are not looking happy and cheerful, and is putting on a lot of bedding in the house. My sister, are you listening to me? Let me say this emphatically. There is nothing any wife can do to keep the husband home. There is nothing any wife, including my wife, can do to keep me home. Every man decides to stay home by a jurisdictional power and tuning themselves to align with the house. May I put some questions before the wives who might watch this now or on my page? Have you made a home away from house? Men build houses. Wives make homes. House arrest for the men. But you can be in a house arrest, but once it's a home, you don't enjoy house arrest. I've come encounter with people who have been put behind bars and they had the liberty and the freedom to live somewhere. The graft says, my wife has complained so much that I have started staying home. Even though I am a critical worker, but I'm loving it because putting them at a risk is a big concern to me than I'm bothering with the family. I'm bonding with the family, with the whole family, sorry. Lovely, wahala. Far away from London. I know plenty cleaning. I know plenty cleaning to do too. Well, I think I'm understanding him. He says that he's thinking of the risk he will put the family as compared to he being a critical worker, and he's staying home because the wife is complaining. The graft. Thank you. Kojo the graft. That's somebody's concern. I just want to take a few questions before I start my lecture for today. A lot of domestic violence, a lot of emotional trauma is going on with people because of the lockdown. But I came to tell you that there's a way to work around it. And the first thing is that, wives, have you created a home out of the house? Is it your excitement that finally you've got a house help? Who is your husband? Is it an excitement that now you've got a man to control the children so you can concentrate on what you think you want to do? Men need their space to put some plans and strategies for up and coming days. That's right. I don't say that men need space to put some plans and strategies up in the up and coming days. So men need space to think. Women don't need space to think. Women can think where there's no space. Men can't think where there is no space. So it is said that 5,000 plus words are supposed to be spoken by every woman every day before the day ends. Until they release those number of words, it makes it difficult for them to be. Tidbits tonight. Men will build because women are building homes. Yes, men build houses. Women build homes. Well, Sandy says that they are not happy. They are at home. Why? Because sometimes they get angry anyhow. So a lady is telling us that the men are not happy they are home because the slightest thing they are getting upset. What is causing the men not to be happy at home. But are the women happy that they are home with their husbands? Are the women happy that their family is together? Is there any form of happiness? And let me tell you clearly that happiness is caused by happenings. Happiness is caused by happenings. So for us to enjoy happiness, it should come out of happenings. Unfortunately, the melancholy and sanguine in a home will have a conflict. And I promise you the last week Friday, I'm going to deal with anxiety disorder and stress alongside temperament profile. From London, thank you so much, Billionaire. Thank you for watching me. Keep watching us from London. And I hope those of you who are safe, be safe till coronavirus will leave. And I believe that whatever immune system booster you are using, concentrate on it so you boost your immune system. I pray for divine protection for you wherever you are at home. But we are dealing with the physical here. As for the spiritual one, I'll come and deal with it. Because a man's position in the family is that he's the God of the family. Your husband is the God of your family. Even if you are a female lady reverend and you are a pastor, your husband, who is even a pagan, happens to be the spiritual head of the house and not you. It might sound hard. It might not sound friendly. It will not be what you want to hear. But the home is made by the woman. The home is made by the woman. No, some of us ladies don't enjoy the staying home cause they are used to staying alone more times with their kids without them. So some other women too, like the lady just said, are not happy that they are staying home with their husbands because they are used to staying with their children. So the appearance of the husband is a headache to them. A lady called me yesterday and said that she is stressed. And what is causing the stress is feeding the husband with food, not sex. When the husband is not home, herself and the children determine what they can eat. And anything available, they are able to enjoy it. But ever since the husband is staying home now, she is becoming prim and proper and must cook things that husband will enjoy. And for the first 7 days to the 8th day of her life, she has lost the artistry of divining or looking for a type of food that he can serve, she can serve the husband. And it's becoming more irritating when she asks the husband, what will you eat? And the husband says, anything you provide, I will eat. She says she becomes more offended. Yes, happiness is caused by happenings. Happenings, yes. So her challenge is that right now she's getting pissed off because she has to provide food in the house every day, and the food must align with what the husband will eat. Then the children will follow. And as we speak, she has run short of ideas of what food she should cook for the husband again. So she's stressed and she is going through a pain. Now, so what is stress? One of the definitions of stress is any demand placed on or physical. People can report feeling unease. People can report feeling sad, emotionally down. People can report not thinking right. Just because what food should they cook for their husband? They have been cooking for their husband since the lockdown. They are providing the same food. Ask their husband, honey, what will you eat? He tells them, anything you provide, I'll eat. The providers of the food are feeling reluctant because they think that you should help them by telling them what you eat. Should a husband be the one to tell you what they will eat? Or a husband must be ready to eat whatever is provided? That's a question for the day. Ever since I gave birth to my third child 3 months ago, my BP is up and I never had BP. What should I do? Dear, I'm very happy you've asked such a question, Evelyn. Your BP is up. It's going up and going up ever since. We have to discuss that beyond this counseling section. Because I have to ask that what happened to your BP before delivery? Were you going through eclampsia? Was your BP not stable before delivery? What happened before your BP went up? If there's a challenge before your BP went up, my dear, we have to discuss. Are you on medication? If yes, what medication are you taking? The third child. Are you having a third child? Was he a planned baby? Or it was unwanted? Or a female? And it came to the opposite. Were you expecting SVD and you went through CS? Is the home solid enough expecting this child? Are you financially stable, sound to have this child? Is your marriage qualified to have another child? Or you're using the children as the bait to fund your happiness? Girl, BP kills. Let's help you manage it. Manage your stress and your BP will come down. Yes, me too. I hate that statement. Cook whatever you want to cook. I don't know what to cook that. That's why I'm asking. And you cannot give me a specific answer. Why should you be hurt by this statement? When you ask Sandra, you ask your husband, what will you eat? And he says, cook whatever you want to cook. I will eat. And you say you are short of ideas. That is why you're asking him to tell you specifically what you eat. My sister, why should that be offensive to you? Why should you be hurt? Why should you be worried when your husband is saying that cook whatever you want to cook and I'll eat? This puts stress on a woman because stress is a demand placed on the brain. When they put stress on your brain, you can break down. You can lose focus. You can become stressed. And you begin to think otherwise, which can affect the marriage setting. You'll be shocked that you are married for so many years. And you will now begin to regret the staying of home of your husband. Because he doesn't eat at home. Every time he's out there, he eats in the night, he comes later, he comes at best. Maybe he only takes some beverage and goes to bed every time he comes home. But where we are now, this is your husband that you want to please him by making the home a home because counselor says so. And this husband of yours is not even ready to tell you what he's going to eat. But luckily enough, he tells you, whatever you cook, I'll eat. Is he offensive? Is he hurting? Somebody told me this afternoon that as for her, ever since they came home, she has retired from the kitchen. You like the way I did my mouth? Let me drink some water on my own things. The woman said it literally. Remember that my Tupperware products are still in town. We're still selling. I supply for you if you want. Because I believe he is the head of the house. Hence, I have to sort his ideas sometimes on food. Wow, Sandy. Sandy says that the husband is the head of the house and there are times that he has to seek his mind on what he wants to eat too. Well, the woman is a cook. She's the nurse. She's the mother. And she is the administrator and the director of the home. So the diet of the husband is specifically determined by, my husband always threatens me whenever we have misunderstanding by saying, if I don't shut up, he will do something to me. I want to know if he means what he's always saying, please. Oh, my dear, Akosua, how will I know this? But why would your husband tell you that if you don't shut up, he's going to do something to you? Akosua, may I say this to you, Akosua? One of the things that kills a man is when a woman is talking and it doesn't end. But this is also what I want to tell women. I want to tell men. Women I want to pour out 5,000 words every day and more. So now that they are home, they don't get to the office. You are the benchmark for their 5,000 words. I will teach you how to listen to the woman, even if you are not taking anything from what she's saying. I think husbands make their wives cook job easier for them. If we tell our wives, cook anything, I will eat. Please, do you think our wives, on the other hand, willingly cook anything the husband is saying? He's asking, asked for. Do you think our wives will cook anything willingly asked for by the husband? I do same things, and Madame makes good use of that power. If I feel for something special, I ask for. Brilliant one. The graft. The graft says he allows Madame to choose what he wants to cook for the family. But if he has anything special he wants to eat, he tells Madame, Madame, I would like to eat the special. The graft, that's right. But there's a meal that when you request for at a particular time, you are being mean and wicked. In our local state in Ghana, where we don't do fufu powder. In London, you do fufu powder. But where people must do the cooking of banchi baire and do the poncha, poncha, poncha. The sound alone is nice. When your husband will request fufu after 3 p.m., then there's going to be war in that house. Our husband who says, my BP was stable and I was never on medication. The baby was planned, and both of us in financial stability. And I have 4 years old homeschooling. And I have 4 years old homeschooling. But I think by all means, he's giving me pressure. I have 3. I asked my friend to give me more. I have 3 boys. Oh, okay. So, my sister, Evelyn, I think I want to deal with your case uniquely. Your BP, I promise you, with knowledge that I've acquired, I will stabilize your BP for you. Because what is causing your BP to go up is the pressure. You are stressed. There is an unwanted demand on your brain, and it's reflecting on your physical being. And that is why your BP is not being stable. Please, if you have any challenge on your relationship, you can call. That's right. You can call. Right? The program is over. That's a good number there. You can call me anytime when you have any challenge in your relationship. But we're going to deal, if you have pressure, sorry, on your brain, you become stressed up. So the last time somebody is saying that they tell their wife what to cook for them. And when there's a meal that they feel they want to eat, they tell the wife to cook for them. I share this thing with you every time. There's a friend of mine whose wife, anytime she cooks granite soup, that's the granite soup cutting quine, he runs. He gets running stomach. So anytime he goes to eat more food, that he gets constipation. Then he comes to demand from the wife, can I have some granite soup? The delicious one you've been cooking. It's only between us that we know that the granite soup he takes is a purgative that leads him to have free vows. But the wife believes that is the best granite soup ever. But he has discovered that the wife doesn't know how to do granite soup. No matter what he does, he will run. So he takes it as a purgative. My dear, I can understand you because I have 2 strong boys. And sometimes I stress up too much. It's not easy because boys are a bit active. Wow. I wish you see a girl that I know who is active. My daughter is too active because she happens to be the first daughter in the family where the other cousins are all boys. and they live together with my mom. Friends, if you see what my daughter can do, you will rush and go for Rush Energy Drink from Trillium Ghana Limited. Ali, thank you so much for your support. Vena Mineral Water, thank you so much. I drink Vena. Hey, my sister, some boys are inactive. Some boys are cool until they grow. Some boys will be so dumb as if they don't have male gene in them until they hit 12, and in their 13 to 21, you have more police case that you can think about. And you, they are so. When I gave birth to him, he was quiet, he was dumb. You don't know what he's doing. My mom would tell you that one of the people that he gave birth to that worked faster was me. I don't talk. I sit and my mom thinks I'm chanting. I am not a talkative. I'm a very quiet person. Wow, you are surprised. I'm a very quiet person. But I read a lot. I sink in me. So I had a guy named that was called Freedom and Justice. Anytime food is ready, the signal you hear from me is I compose song with everything I see. And I think my daughter has it. She does a lot of lyrical content when people come around. The small thing you do, she's singing with your activity. So there are other girls who are very active. But I support you that you've gone through the same thing before. And this is why I'm forming the Cancelator Fan Club that will have wives who have experienced something that others are experiencing now. And we find the opportunity to share with them the way we came out of it. It's called therapy. It's therapeutical. Even though we are not the same people, there are some things you have done to come out of some things that when you tell others and they practice, it might work for them. So if there's a stress going on your brain and on your physical body, your BP will go up. And when your BP goes up, remember, your arteries, your main veins that pumps blood to the heart begins to expand. And when they begin to expand, that is what mild stroke starts in the system. Girl, I'm pleading with you. Relax for me. My number has been put on the screen by Emmanuel. Note the number down. When we finish our discussion, let's talk beyond. And my sister, who just sent us Sunday 24 has experienced that before, might want to exchange numbers with you, tell you what she did differently. But some of you believe that you are going through a lot. You have 4 children and your husband is not helping. That can stress you. Some of us were fortunate to live with our mothers closer, even though our fathers were available. And in that closeness with our father and mother, and with that, because we became firstborn sons, we were raised like women. So some of us learn how to remove poo-poo from the napkin, not diapers. Not diapers. Me just say ya near gu napkin mu be send ye yi bin fi napkin mu. Ah yes ye hata. Some of us learn how to pound fufu for our younger siblings. Some learn how to come back from school quickly so mommy can go to work in the afternoon shift. And we became the babysitters. And we learn how to use a safety pin to take care of our younger siblings without hooking their male organ with a safety pin. So we became sisters. My sisters, boys, my boys, my sister. My boys are more than Bukom Banku. I am contemplating to go and leave them in Ghana. Evelyn, I know raising children and especially boys in the foreign land, in UK and other places, will not be easy. Especially with the child right policies that are giving right to women and children. When you have children in abroad, it's difficult. Most people have brought their children down to Ghana and they have raised them properly for them. I use the word properly to be aligned with the family virtues and rules and regulations. Obey regimental orders and they become better. So when we discuss, Evelyn, And it makes sense that there are good people down here who can take care of your boys. It's not bad to bring them to go to one of the international schools here where discipline is a hallmark of the day. So you raise them properly so that they become sensible, qualified future leaders for us. Evelyn, I salute you with your ideas. However, all these decisions could also lead to stress on the woman and not the man. Financial issues will come in. Such decisions are not made alone by you. Decisions of this nature must be collective decision. You'll be shocked that you are the one going through the pain. So usually you use your worries and your pain to make a decision. Impose it on your husband. And at the end thereof, when things don't go down well, the husband begins to complain that he has lost his rights as the head of the family. A man who doesn't take care of his home is not qualified to be called a father. He is a rubber stamp and would die as a rubber stamp. If you are watching me today and you are irresponsible at home, quick up, because the blessing in your hands for your children is better. When Isaac with Rebekah then, he called his son to ask his son for his best meal to be cooked for him. If the relationship was okay, let me ask a question. If I'm living with my wife, or you are living with your wife, between your children and your wife, who must know your favorite meal at home? And who must be the best person to cook your favorite meal for you? Ladies and gentlemen, if you check Bible very carefully, Rebekah, listening to what Isaac was saying, and went quickly to cook the meal that the husband loved for his son to bring to the husband, for the husband to bless the wrong son. It was because Isaac and Rebekah in proper terms in that house. There was a division. They communicated through their children, so they never had a solid home. When stress comes on the mind or on the body, we lose track of what authority is. And the home doesn't become a home. It becomes a prison and a house. When a man builds a house, a woman turns it into a home. Regardless of how your husband is, let that house become a home. You are late, so you are not getting anything. Oh, Maybell, continue sharing, top sharer. Continue sharing and you get what it is. How to manage your home. And we are dealing with stress that women. Question on board is that, is it wrong for a husband not to say what they will eat, but will flow with whatever wives will cook for them? And some wives have told us already, Maybell, that it is where husband what they will eat. And I told them of a story of a young lady who stopped cooking because Berman were big. She also cooked for them to eat. As the man, ever since they came home, what will you eat? He says, whatever you cook, I'll eat. And she has run short of ideas. Doesn't know what to cook for the husband anymore. And she's tired. She's going through stress. And I've defined stress to be when a demand is placed on your brain or your physical body and you are feeling uncomfortable to report. It is called stress. It's a wear and tear of the being. So Mabel, I just give you a summary of what we are discussing. So we are telling you what causes stress. And the cause of stress must also be known that it should be able to be managed. We have what we call multiple competing demands, which when they are placed on the individual, it makes you stressed the more. So multiple taxing is one of the gifts that God gave to women. Multiple taxing is one of the gifts that God endowed women with. Men cannot be doing multiple taxing. Even though some of us have lived with our mothers and we have learned how to do multiple taxing, the energy to do multiple taxing is not there. Because men were created to be hunters. They focus to complete, and when they complete and they win, they start a new thing. It is difficult for a man to have a lot of things that he has touched, he has not completed. it breaks them down. When women have touched a lot of things they have not completed, they feel better. So God gave women the ability of multitasking. Between men and women, those who can endure the more are women. So when my sister says that her BP is not stable, and she's telling us that what she's going through with 3 boys who are more than Bukom Banku at home, it tells you that what she's suffering, if a husband suffers a quarter of that, he will collapse. Counselor, please. I think abroad's marriage is a bit different from Ghanaian marriage. Should it be so? Yes. Because most of you in abroad are not married. You are cohabiting. That's the thing. Because the fully fledged power of the man in the part of especially Ghana, where the man is the head and determines how it runs as the man of the house, is not the same like in the States, where even your accommodation is determined by marriage and children. There are flats that they will give you a 2-bedroom house because your form shows that you are married with children. And your payment of your balcony, the glass is double because of your children. So in the States, usually a lot of things are determined by women and children as compared to just men. In Ghana, you can be in single room and live with your wife and children for 35 years. The government will not arrest you. Counselor, please. Who should take care of the children when sent back to Ghana? Should it be the wife's mother or the husband's mother? Brilliant question I was going to come to. Brilliant question. Now they take go. Thank you. You sound like my daughter. She just had a birthday, 1st April. Now I'm going to address that issue. So the marriages in the States, that is why most people who are married in America and in Europe, when they come down to Ghana, the marriage comes to collapse. Because the alimony or the property they have made in Ghana happens to be a contribution of the joint struggle and toil of both of them. The power of the man in America, for example, is limited. In London, it's limited. Most European countries are limited. Your determination of continuous stay in your residence usually is governed by how you live with a woman, who is the focus of governance. Back in Ghana, the DOPSU unit has policies that are making women and children ahead of men in Ghana. However, our stipulated orders are that men are the head. They are the basic providers of everything for the house. Whether the man has or not, the onus lies on him to provide. And that is the standard of marriage. A man who provides gets the blessing from God to lead. When a woman voluntarily decides to support you, we don't fight it. It is accepted in a way. But where it becomes a cost-sharing marital responsibility, the man's ability to control and to lead becomes dull, and regimental disorder is the order of the day in that family. Because the woman has a fair say in the marriage. Let me quote a scripture for you. I think in the book of Genesis, chapter number 4, or chapter number 3, verse number 16. Anybody can cross-check for me. The Bible says that, and when the Lord got in chapter 2, read 18, 19, 20. That was when God told the man, it is not good for the man to be alone. I'll make for you a helper suitable for you. But the Lord God ended it there and caused the man to name the things he has created in the garden. Gave dominion and power to the man. After which, the Lord God put a deep sleep on the man. The man slept, and out of his sleeping, the Lord took a rib out of his side, covered it with flesh. And the rib he has taken, he molded a woman out of it for the man. It means that the desire of a man was out of his sleep, came that beautiful, wonderful, succulent, sumptuous, presentable thing called a woman. The man's ability to name things led him to see a different nature of his kind. And he said, this is a man with a womb. She shall be called a woman. And for this reason, man will leave the father and mother, become one with what they have seen. Therefore, what the Lord has put together, let no man put asunder. That scripture was repeated in the New Testament in the book of Matthew. Jesus spoke about that. He made them. But in the same garden where God wanted the woman to be a helpmate to the man, the woman experienced that the power given to the man to control the things in the garden was not the same power that she had. So watch it here. God gave the power and the ability to the man to control the things in the garden, excluding the woman. So any power that the woman wants to use on any of the things in the garden, it is a demand on the man to do it on behalf of the woman. So the woman didn't have the right to kill a fowl, kill a cow, kill a cat for soup. But any animal that must be killed, the dominion and power is in the hands of the man. So the man must kill the prey for them to use to cook. It is the man that goes to harvest the meal and bring for the woman to cook. So the helpmate is that he goes to bring the things for the woman to cook. Then in abroad, most of the marriages are cost share. Responsibilities of the men of men can cook, clean, babysit, etc. Unlike Ghana, where husbands are supposed to provide almost everything for their wives and kids. Yeah. Sandy, I'll come back. Their wife and kids. Where husbands are supposed to provide almost everything and kids. Yes, that's the. But I'm explaining the original marriage. Even in a British, American standard from creation. If you read the American history on relationship, which I've read a bit of it, this was the way marriage was. Men were in charge until 1939, during the Second World War, where women demanded equality, and then it became women and children. But I'm bringing you a scenario, and I'm bringing you from a biblical point of view, so we understand, Sandy. So the man must be the head, regardless of whatever cost sharing is going on. But immediately, when God gave man the right to run the garden, woman was enjoying. If he wants to eat fruit, man must pluck the fruit for the woman to eat. The woman had no dominion over the things in the garden, but the man has. So the woman had control over the man had control over the serpent, the dog, the cow, all the animals in the garden, and can voluntarily kill anyone to eat, but not the woman. My husband says that the reason why my BP is up is because I shout too much, and I stress over things that shouldn't be stressed over. He says I should relax. It's a good statement from your husband, but this thing your husband told you will increase your stress, because I told you one of the definition of stress is that it is when a demand is placed on the brain. My husband says the reason why my BP is going up is because I shout too much. Do you shout too much? Is it your husband saying it, or you know you shout too much? Is it that you are overstressed with things that your husband is telling you that relax? He's saying, or what you have observed. Evelyn, good. The garden was fine. The man has right. He controls everything. He sends those that can be sent. He thinks. He commands things up there. But one of the things that happened to the man is that in all the dominion and right he has, excluding the woman, there are times in the garden that when that time reach, anywhere he is, the voice of God comes to call, and he has to report to his master, who is in his likeness and in his image, so he gets power to be able to run the woman that God has given him. So the source of man was an authority that speaks to him, that worship with him, to give him power to come back to control the who he never had dominion over. The man was asleep when the woman was created. For that matter, the idea to run the woman is limited. So usually, when you want to control an equipment, the manufacturer must give you a manual that tells you when you see error 7, it means there is low battery. When you see error 3, it means that it's overheating. When you see code pass, it means that your the enjoyment and the excitement, sorry for the network, of the network, sorry, I promise you, I need to invest about 800 Ghana cedis and get a new internet in the place. But because of my donation, I'm financially handicapped now. I'm thinking of my asthmatic people and diabetic people and investing so much in their lives. So the internet I have, it's not that internet is not good, but my environment I am in has because of the medical equipment. So it's not all internet that are able to break through here. I'm sorry for the bad network. I know you're enjoying the conversation. Sorry. But I'm going to raise funds immediately, get some 1,000 Ghana cedis, and I promise you, you see a stable, succulent internet. Forgive me. So in the Garden of Eden, Adam didn't have more rights to know what to do to the woman because he was asleep when the woman was created. So for him to be able to manage the woman in the marriage, he goes constantly 3 o'clock to go have worship with God. And God communicates and commune with him on how to manage that beautiful, sumptuous thing that he created as a helpmate for him. This was how the garden was running. But the woman never enjoyed that estate. The woman didn't understand why the husband can call dog, come here, and the dog comes. Serpent, come here, and the serpent comes. The woman didn't understand what was in the man that brought the ability to control the things that God has created. The woman came to meet the man with the things that God has created. The man met the things and he was given power, dominion over the things. Let me tell you, the authority of a man in life is only seen when he's married. Wow, from Italy, thank you so much. I ask God's protection for you. And as you're watching me, may the Lord penetrate through your homes and protect you from this pandemic and epidemic, that you will not die, but you will live, and I'll come and visit you in Italy. Say an amen, my sister or my brother. I don't know who is that. But I want to tell you that the woman in her enjoyment got to a point that wanted to also ask, why can't I have the same extension and power to control what is going on in the garden? I know there are women who feel very reluctant, enjoying things from men. But my sister, the man will only experience a blessing from God if there's a demand on him. A man experiences blessing from God when it comes to marriage when there is a demand on you through the marriage. When there's no demand on you through the marriage, God doesn't see anything to do with you, even though you are still representing God. So there's nothing wrong when a woman is voluntarily helping you. But there is something wrong when it's a demand on a woman to help you. Hello? When a woman must help you because you have given her her portion. Pay light bill, let me pay water bill. Pay rent, let me pay school fees. That is where you lose the connection with God. And men who do that suffer. Your wife comes out from her voluntary mentality to do things for you. It reduces the stress in her mind. The man she doesn't do, it doesn't affect the house. Thank you from Australia, Brown. But there are men today that when wives stop supporting at homes today, the house will have a challenge because their budget allocation is alongside what their wives are producing. Amen. I'm also from Italy. God bless you from Italy. The same prayer for you. Happy birthday, my dear Papa. God bless you. God bless you. You become blessed. God bless you. I receive the blessing and take it to my family as well. May God bless you. This month of April is my birthday, and I begin to collect my birthday present now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Watching us from Durban, Ireland. Wow. From New York. Wow. May God bless you in New York, and may you be protected in New York against this epidemic and this time. As you stay within the protocol, may the Holy Spirit cover you as well in the name of Jesus. So this happened in the garden. Now look at what happened. Man never had right over her wife. Man was living with the wife as a helpmate. They were enjoying that command. And the woman will always have to go to the man if he wants anything done in the garden. And that was sumptuous. When your wife puts demands on you, it gives the Lord the ability to give you the power to operate. When your wife does things by herself, wives, not women, wives. When a wife does things by herself in the marriage, it puts a heavy negative toll on you. Men, never enjoy when your wife is doing things for herself. Let your wife's burden be your burden. And when her burden becomes your burden, God sees you through and blesses you because of her sake. When multiple competing demands are put on every human being, they get stressed. So, the woman in the garden began to run in stress. Sorry for my oil. The woman now was understanding things differently. So, was trying her best. Animals in the garden, but they laugh at her. Had a relationship with a serpent. Not any relationship except communication relationship with the serpent. And when the serpent came, do something to you. The serpent was one of the animals in the other creations. And Adam was supposed to make a decision to choose a helpmate. The serpent stood clear that if there should be a next command in this garden, it should be me, the serpent. Because the serpent was the most wisest creature in the garden. But when man was lonely, he chose over the serpent. Oh, Jesus. Are you getting the illustration carefully? Let me ever fight man for the rest of our life because or over it. The serpent wanted to be the control and made the wife higher than the serpent. But when the wife had communicated, the serpent now came to penetrate through the mind of the woman and began to see that the woman needed time to talk 5,000 words a day. So the serpent created the opportunity for communication and came to ask the woman, did God say you should not eat this fruit? And when the woman was talking, he says, God knows the day you eat this fruit, you become like him. Remember, my message, we are dealing with stress. The woman was stressed in the garden. There are women that when you do everything for them, they become stressful. There are women that when their man is not doing anything in the house, they feel stressful. When stress falls on you, you make a lot of mistakes. Manage your stress, please. Let me drink some water. It's a lecture. Share. I want you to share it. Just share. Just go to your share button. It's a lecture. Managing yourself at home during this lockdown. And I'm bringing you knowledge. I'm here I was going to lecture on temperament and anxiety. But the questions coming is that a lot of women are getting stressed because their husband, when they ask them, what will you eat, honey? They say, whatever you cook, I'll eat. And rather, it's killing the woman. Some women are not enjoying their service. So they want to speak to the serpent. Some women are demanding some level of authority to have equality. The Garden of Eden was the safest place for a man to live with everything available. Man saw that particular enjoyment, but was not enjoying the enjoyment because She thought she could also have equal right in the garden. So had a conversation with the serpent. Did God say you shouldn't eat the fruit? God knows when you eat the fruit, you become like him. Who was God to Adam? God was a man that every 3 o'clock when Adam and Eve are sitting there having their communication and having some love, God come, Adam. Then Adam will have to immediately obey the voice that is speaking and leave the wife alone. Once the husband is obedient to a particular voice, when I become that voice, my husband will be obedient to me. To demean any woman. But I'm here to tell you that until the equality between men and women comes to an end as a request, we will constantly lose the Garden of Eden. When men lose the interest in women, when women seek to be like their husbands, we will lose our garden. And when we lose the garden, we will struggle with thorns, thistles out there. And that is where we are today. So the woman had not been given to the man control over. Counselor, is it advisable to have a joint account with your spouse? No. And I will explain. No. And I will explain. No. Explain. Today I told you I will tackle some of the questions. We have never lived together except this lockdown. I said, wow. A man packed his things Friday before the lockdown. He says when he lives with the wife under the same roof, he will be arrested because he cannot stand the appearance of the wife in the house. So he's gone. We want to make sure that we know what is going on and why what is going on is going on. The management of your stress is a natural wear and tear in relationship. It's a demand on the brain. It is the multiple competing things that are going on in your mind. My husband is demanding a joint account, and I think I want to run my account, so that he also wants his account. But the husband is not understanding. He says you are a greedy woman. That is why you don't want to join your money with my money. You are earning more than I'm earning, but you are still demanding from me to buy dresses for yourself. You are demanding money to go to the salon. You are demanding money to buy panties. You are demanding money to buy brazier. My husband, I came to talk to you as a man watching me today, that if your wife is earning the longest and the highest amount in the world, your supply is what makes her become the wife in that house. It's not when she's taking care of herself. Ooh. Sorry, I said it. When your wife is taking care of herself, she's not a wife. That is why she can't make a home. You still have a house instead of a home. So lockdown, you can't live in a home. That is why she's even reluctant now cooking for you. Because most of the foodstuffs in the kitchen are provided by her. Can you boast and put your hands on your chest? They are wearing a dress as a woman, and they ask you that your dress is nice. Where did you buy it from? And you can beat your chest and say, I'm sorry, I don't know. My husband gave it to me last week. I don't know where she bought it. I feel proud when my wife does that for me. I travel out of Accra, beyond some place, some corner somebody showed me. I drove, spent 2 days. When I was coming back, I did shopping for my wife. The dresses I saw there, none were in Accra. And I brought it to her. Till today, she didn't know where I bought it from. But everybody meets her, this your dress is nice. This your office wear is nice. Where did you get it? She tells them, I don't know. It's my husband who gave me. And that statement brings me blessing. I'm challenging you wherever you are today. Regardless of how much your wife is earning. No matter what you think your wife has, from today as a husband, take care of that woman and see the blessing of God. The serpent said, did God say you shouldn't eat? The woman said, yes. He says, God knows the day you eat, you become like him. And the duty of God was just, if just saw one thing about God. All that Eve saw about God was, Adam, where are you? Come for worship. So Eve had nothing to do with God, except that Eve knows that God comes to call Adam, at the close of the noon to go and have some talk with the husband, go and have some fellowship with the husband, and the husband comes back happy, and they have a happy home, and they enjoy. So the husband goes for something, and when he comes, there's a change on his face. There's an excitement, because when you rub shoulders with the worship, when a man goes closer to God, and they have worship together, when the man descends from the throne room of grace and mercy from God, he comes with anointing, he comes with freshness, he comes with power, he comes with authority, he comes with a direction that nobody knows. He comes with fresh ideas. When a man has an encounter with God, he comes with something fresh that nobody gets. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. When your husband is in tune with God, your house is always in peace, not in pieces. So there's a reason. Eve sees the excitement. They might be eating, and Adam will hear the voice of God. And by order, he removes his hand from the thing and would dip it down in the water. Wash quickly, my Lord, I am here. Adam was a replica of obedience to the voice of God. And this is what it was expected that the woman would be doing to Adam. Because every time Adam goes to God, Adam didn't have any knowledge about the woman. He got up from his sleep and he saw who the woman was. So he goes back to God to ask God, the woman you gave me, how do I manage her? Oh, Jesus. This was it. But the woman didn't see it from the angle I'm seeing today. The woman wanted to be equal like God, not like the husband. I hear both preaching that the woman wanted. No. The serpent said, did God say you shouldn't eat? God knows the day you eat, you become like him. So the woman ate the fruit because he wanted to become like God. And when the woman becomes like God, then the man will koto and follow and come and hear her voice and come and listen to her. If you are watching me as a woman, that today, as we speak, your voice is the loudest voice in your house today, that your husband obeys, just like your children, drop it down now. Release the bar. Release the bar. Otherwise, you lose your garden. Now watch it. When the devil spoke, because the devil has been the target to the man, but he has never gotten opportunity to get close to Adam. Adam has never granted opportunity for the serpent to suggest to him. Because the serpent always wanted to be the next in command in the garden, not the woman. Until today, the devil still wants to be the second in command and not the wives. Me, my wife is the second in command. Not my mom, not my dad, not my children. It's my wife. I'm not forcing you to make your wife a second command, but that is the protocol. Immediately when the woman listened to the serpent, see the change that occurred in the garden. God created man in his own image and in his likeness. Woman was created in the desire and the design of man. So when the man sees a woman, he feels fulfilled. When God wants to see a woman, he sees a woman through a man. So it is said that no man came out of a man, but every woman came out of a man. The authority in marriage can never be given to a woman. Never. No, won't. Never. That is why your husband is not with you. And all your children are becoming burden. You are raising boys, raising girls, but without their father, you don't know what you are raising. I pray to God, whatever has separated you from their father, if their father is not qualified to be a husband to you, let him be a father to the children and look for a husband for yourself. Don't raise children alone. Think you have the money, child support, regardless of what. If the man is abusive, and for that matter, you cannot live with him, he has a hardened heart, and he cannot manage a home, then look for a new man who can do that. But let the children know the importance of a man. Let the children know the importance of a woman as a mother in the house. So the future will not be bleak for us. Because the simple thing is that long life is not found anywhere. It says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with the promise, that it may be well with you, that you may live long on earth. Long life is not in food. It's in obedience to parents. And for a child to respect the father, is the demand is on the mother. Any child that is disrespectful to the father, the serpent told the woman, God knows when you eat, you become like him. So the desire of the woman is to become like God. She ate the fruit. Now watch it here. Bible says, and she gave some to the husband who was with him. Adam came home. Adam, what will you eat? Anything you cook, I'll eat. Oh, counselor. Where is Sandy? What will you eat? Anything you cook, I'll eat. Vulnerable men. Pitiful men. So what Eve was eating, gave it to Adam. Adam ate the same fruit. The serpent was happy. Finally, Adam is down. Because the serpent knew very well in the garden what was the forbidden thing in the garden. But the serpent was excited that through the woman, I have gotten the man. Little did the serpent know that even when the man ate the fruit, God still knows his own, because man was in the image and in the likeness of God. Now watch it here. After the fruit has been eaten, sin has happened. Their eyes are open. It's true. They are becoming like God. So the serpent didn't lie. But Adam had sinned against his father. Enmity has come between Adam and God. But look at what happened in the garden. The Bible says that, and when God came back in the cool of the day for the worship, when he called Adam in his sin, still Adam heard him. Let me tell you, the fall of a man as a husband still has the grace, the power, the connection with the Almighty God. So be careful what you do against your husband, thinking that God has left him, because your husband is your God. I'm concluding for you to understand why I brought this up. From that day forward, what happened? That was when God told the woman, these are your burdens you are going to go through. You will struggle to deliver that child. He said, the fruit of your womb, the seed from your womb, shall crush the head of the serpent. You will tread under the feet every time you bring a seed on earth. And the serpent will constantly look for the opportunity to bite the heel of your seed. Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel. Long life is not in food, but it's in obedience to parents. That's a word. Ima, add the parents to it. Immediately when they ate it, God still knew his own. God still knew the voice. Adam never lost the voice of God. But he felt differently before God. He did fig leaves to cover himself. But the Bible says that God came back to kill animal to cover his own Adam. He never left Adam alone. When you are a man and you are connected to God as a husband, God will never leave you alone. Look, I said God will never leave you alone. We have gone to a position where men as a husband have broke before. And I spoke to God, my wife needed this. And before the close of day, because it was a demand for my wife, the Lord brought it to me. God never wants to disgrace any husband in front of a wife, because you are the God over your wife. The reason why the woman now became part of the things that God gave man right over was when the woman wanted to be like God. When your wife is demanding to have the same authority like you, then you lose your garden. But when the garden is lost, the man still carries the gene that must crush the head of the serpent. So the Lord will never crush his man. Friends and loved ones, if you read the scripture I gave you, Genesis chapter 3 verse 16, the Bible says that in this day forward, This is what the Lord told the woman. He says, woman, and now for the rest of your life, your desire shall be for your husband. So before then, woman's desire was not for the husband. A bad parent is the root of all disobedience. That's true. That one is, I agree with you. It's true. Bad parent is the root of all disobedience. Yes. That one is true. I agree. But remember, all children become what they have to be by parents. But the pivot of the two parents is that the one that brings the discipline is always the mother. Children must get to know that mommy is under the authority of daddy. And for that matter, when mommy, who is older than us and is our mother, reveres daddy's authority and obey what daddy says, how much more us? So my children will only respect me because my wife does so. See, the desire shall be for your husband. That's the first thing. So a wife desire will not go anywhere. Anytime you're a wife and your desire is in your intelligence, your desire is in your degree, your desire is in your boss, your desire is in your pastor, your desire is in your father. Your father has a particular title. He's the president of the Republic of Ghana. He's the authority. Forget it. There is a role your father plays in your life. What your husband will give you as a wife, your father can never give you. What your wife will bring to you as a blessing, your mother can never give you. Your desire shall be for your husband. That's one. The next thing is that he shall rule over you. That's why we don't want to hear the truth. I pray all women are listening. We love our wives before we marry them. So what happened? Wow, that's a question, Richard. Oh, Sandy. I love Sandy. Counselor, please, are kids supposed to fear both parents or just the head of the house? Wow. Sandra's questions are very, very touching. And I have a joint account question I'll go and answer. But Sandra, listen to this answer very carefully. Husband, one, he shall rule over you. Sandra, watch this here. Anytime there's a ruler, and a servant, people will only be able to identify who is the servant by the authority that is invested on their master. The first person that comes into my life has never been my children. It's my wife. So my children came to meet my wife, obey my rules. So when we say that whose authority, Sandra's question is that the kids are supposed to fear who? Fear who? That is, obey who? The word would not be fear. It would be revere or obey, Sandra. The children are supposed to obey both. But the authority that is operating in the house is your husband. So once you have respect for your husband, then the children who you are raising, who came to meet you as the mother, and you respect their father, will respect their father because even mommy respects daddy. So, my children are not my friends. They are not my chatmates. My children sees me as the chief executive and they see their father, their mother as a director. So, Sandra, both of you are supposed to be obeyed. But the husband must be obeyed more than you. Your husband must be the last stop. That when the children are misbehaving, and you say stop, and they don't stop, and you add their father to it, they should see that they have disobeyed your rule, and so you have activated your superpower, which is your authority. The policeman can be as small as Don Little, but once the coat of arms is on his forehead, when he lifts his hand on the street, you are nobody, you have to stop. Why? Because he's operating within the authority of the coat of arms. So wives are operating under the slave mentality of their master, who is their husband. So when you are a wife and you don't respect your husband, expect your children to respect him too. Once you condemn what daddy says, the children will not even respect you. More or less to respect daddy. I hear people saying that yes, if you make that, the children will be afraid of him and they can't go to him. No, it's not true. My daughter wants to go for an excursion. She can come to me and tell me I'm going for an excursion. She has to tell the mother. If I see my daughter coming to me, means that she has sought permission from the mother, and the mother says that tell daddy about it. And before my daughter comes to discuss with me, mommy has spoken to me already. So it is not about fear, it's about obedience. But if a child will respect the father, it's because the mother has proven to them that your father is my desire and he is ruling over me. And once there's a ruler, there's a servant and there's a master. So every wife, every woman who becomes a wife becomes a slave. And slaves enjoy in their slavery when they obey their master. So the domestic violence, the child support, the mismanagement of homes, the anger, the stress, the wrong demands are coming because women have not seen themselves that after they sought to become like God, they became slaves in the marriage circle. The Garden of Eden is still repeating itself in Beijing conferences, where equality is the hallmark. I am not against equality in the business landscape. They should go ahead. Because in 1939 to 1945, when men went to war, Second World War, and most men were killed, they demanded that women will come and be taught how to do the machinery. This history. And when women came to do the machinery, that was when in 1942, before the Second World War, women demonstrated for the first time that what men are paid, they should be paid. I came to tell you, anytime equality is demanded in the public space by men and women, it becomes a challenge. Because no man can be a woman and no woman can be a man. But when that same thing is brought into the home, where we believe that what men can do, women can equally do and do better. I cannot do the things my wives are doing. God never gave me the spirit of multitasking. I can't manage my children in the house. I can only discipline them. But my wife can. She has a way. I have no breast. When my baby is crying, I have nothing to do. But when my baby is crying, my wife has so much instruments to calm down this boy. Just her breast, the place is quiet. God is not a fool to come and tell a woman that you were not under the things that man must control. But when you gave access to listen to the serpent to become like me, now you have become part of the things that a man can control. So a man has right over a woman, immediately you make her your wife. Sorry if a man divorces the wife. Sorry if a man divorces the wife. I wish I understand this statement. So, Sandy, the children must obey both of you. But they have to see you obeying daddy. And when your children see that both of you are an authority of daddy, oh my God, they respect you. But when you make them feel that daddy is the most useless man ever married by you, one of the useless things that have happened to you on earth is marrying daddy, then they will see you to be a fool. Because as wise as you are, why should you still be married to daddy? You are complaining to the children. I didn't go to school. I didn't complete my education. Because your daddy came into my life, impregnated me. And if it's not because of pregnancy, I have my master's degree now. I have my third degree now. I have my so and so now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, what you're saying is true. Nobody say what you're saying is a lie. But once what you're saying is not a lie, but it's true, a lot of people will ask, so what happened? Yes, they'll tell you what happened. But I came to tell you, if you think of what happens there, be careful, because it will not help you. It will not help you. It will not help you. So, this is what happened. Then stress came into the garden. So, women will want to enjoy the best in marriage. Then understand your position in the life of your husband. So, they'll be able to do. Sandy, thank you so much. Now, whilst we are leaving home now, why would there be too many stress in our lives? Because sorry, somebody just called me on Facebook. I want to tell the person that I'm live on Facebook like page. I don't know where the person is, and she can call me on my regular line. I don't know how you live with your husband. I don't know how your children sees your husband. But if you are going through stress, check how is your home. In this lockdown, do you think your home is conducive for your husband to come and live in? So, when the two of you are not the same, your income is not the same, nothing is working on the same level for you, then there's a demand for you to have a joint account. It becomes a headache. So, we should have the same account for what? Yes. The bank will give you a joint account. Joint account naturally were no account that was created for couple. It is called a business account for limited liability, where there are a lot of signatories who will promulgate a law and go. So it is not meant for married people. The KYC doesn't see married people. But when married people decided to do it now, they request for a marriage certificate showing that the two of you are married. So the bank will open joint account for you. But anytime you open a joint account, it's a business venture. It's for business. It's a business. So joint accounts, I don't encourage. I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. I know you enjoy that statement, but I don't. Let's run separate accounts. When a need arises that I think that I need a support from you, I'll do the request. And you are in the voluntary space to provide. It's not a must. So husbands, never say it anywhere that when you ask your wife for something and she doesn't give you, it means that she doesn't love the marriage. It's not true. It's not true. It's not. It's not true. It's not true. It's just about trying your best to do what you enjoy doing, not what you have pushed to do. At what point in time will a woman get the police to arrest the husband? And how does she manage her marriage afterwards when the husband is freed back home, knowing what the hell the husband went through with the police? Let me address this issue. I hear a lot of people saying that when your wife takes you straight to the police station, it means your marriage has ended and your wife doesn't love you anymore. So if you are a man and your wife takes you to the police station, when you come back, don't marry her again. Ladies and gentlemen, at what time, when a woman feels that things are not going down well the way she's expecting. Her right to go to the police station, I think, is not bad. If there's an abuse, and because of the abuse, she feels that she's not secured, so the best place to be is to report to the nearby police station so that the best is done for her. I don't know why we go and come back and say that if you go and report your husband to the police, your marriage has collapsed. No. She did that because she's not going through any safe place. She feels that what she's supposed to enjoy, she's not enjoying. She feels that the best is not happening with her. She feels that you are not treating her the best. For that matter, she goes to report to the police. What ordeal did you go through? You went to sign a bond of good behavior. So, does it affect our marriage? I tell women, when you are abused by your husband, don't report to your pastor. Don't report to your father. Go straight and report to the police. I hold on to that. Because you see, why would you want to raise your hand on a woman who already is your slave? What has happened? What is the problem? What has come over you? That right now, there's nothing than for you to get to the extent of trying to deal with your own wife, who has already become your slave. What's your issue? Why are you worried? What is your case? So once she feels insecure, and for that matter, because she feels insecure, she wants to find a way of bringing security right away. I support her that she reports you to the nearby police. Why? So that sanity prevails and everything that must be done right is done right to the rest of us. Don't be angry. Don't be worried. Don't think that she has disgraced you. So you too, be careful what you do to her, because she might do that in fear of the unknown, in anxiety. Stress can cause a lot of us to do things that we are not ready to do. Stress can cause a lot of women to do the things they are not really in the capacity to do. Stress can make a woman do what naturally they will not be ready to do. So I plead with you that going to the police will not be the final results, but it may be one of the good ways that a woman wants to live in peace and help you to live in peace. My question is it good for a rich man to disguise himself as a poor man in order to marry, to find a love? Any man who is rich and is looking for a wife and will disguise himself so he looks like the poor, so that a poor woman will understand him, is a wicked, stupid man with no apologies. Any man who comes to you and he's not properly dressed and he doesn't fall within your category, because you see, the thing is that monkeys play by sizes. So if you are not within my catchment area, if you are not qualified to be the man I want to live with for the rest of my life, don't think that because you came as a poor person, I have lost my husband. No. I have a reason to marry a man who is in a particular style. He's in shirt and tie. And you come to me not be in shirt and tie. Well, if you lose me, don't think that I am greedy and I'll pay skenia worry. I went as a poor person and she sacked me. Any woman that you are looking for a rich man to marry and you are qualified for a rich man, when any man comes to you dressed poorly, don't accept him. The same way, if you accept a guy who is poor, and later he comes to prove to you that he came disguised to find true love, break up with him. Because if he can lie to you about his status, he can lie to you about everything in the future. I hope I haven't said the question, James. Come the way you are. Monkeys play by sizes, so that you attract what you really want to have. Stress is the problem. Counselor, at what point in marriage will you advise for a house help? The first day of marriage, advice for a housemaid. Anytime you are marrying a woman, when she's going to your house, they are supposed to add a servant to the woman to go and help the woman in that house. But usually we wait. When there's a child in the house, then we begin to look for helps for women. There are women who are refusing helps. Because they say when you bring a help right now, your husband will begin to sleep with the help. Well, I don't know who told you that thing. Because whether you bring a help home or not, anything your husband wants to sleep with, he can go and sleep with. You are suffering. You are doing the house chores alone. You are struggling to run the home. It's adding to your stress. Your BP is coming up because 4 boys. And your husband is ready to foot for the bill for a babysitter or a helper or a housemaid. But you say your husband loves women. He will chop the girl. The girl will come and destroy your marriage. The girl will come and collect your husband. So you are struggling and destroy your home. Why? Why? See how your husband, your wife is suffering. No help. And you become trying. Giddy giddy. She's a woman, she has to do everything. There are times that she can't do everything. Check the Bible. Everybody who married, they gave them help. When Jacob went to marry Rachel, she was given a help. When he even got Leah, who was ugly, he was given a help. When pregnancy was not coming for Rachel, Rachel gave his servant to Jacob to have sex with. When Sarah married Abraham, he got Hagar for Hagar to support her in the marriage. She was a servant to Sarah, not to Abraham. So the Bible says that in the book of Genesis chapter 2, Genesis chapter 16 verse 3, it says, and Sarah gave her maid servant 10 years after Joseph in Canaan. There was no child. Gave her maid servant as a wife to Abraham to have a child with. So maid servants are supposed to join our wives before marriage. Unless otherwise, the woman is kicking against it. But you need to give help to your wife at home. When children start coming, like my dear sister who is struggling with the boys, and her BP is not getting stable. Once her BP is not getting stable, my husband, you are destroying somebody's daughter. Please, help the house. You can't do it. You are the man. You are the master. Let people help your wife at home. Control, have a self-control. And let me tell you, madam, no woman can take your husband. No woman can take your husband until you say so. Because as a matter of fact, there's nothing you can do to stop your husband from sleeping with anything they want. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. Even me, there's nothing my wife can do for me not to sleep around. It's a personal decision not to cheat. So what do you think you would do for me not to cheat? So you are struggling because you don't want a girl to come to that house so that they come and do what? Please. Is it good? Is it good as a husband to join the wife in the kitchen to cook together with your wife? Oh, there's nothing wrong to join your wife in cooking. But there's sometimes that when you go to the kitchen, you cause too much trouble than coming to cook. I really need answer. Should I marry as young as I am because I can't control myself anymore? In other words, I don't want to fornicate. And I can't control my emotions. Should I marry? That's somebody's question I'm reading for you. I'm closing. Should I marry at age 25. Is he a male talking to me? James, don't marry at 25. You will regret you did. James, you are young. Look, marriage is not the solution for loneliness and for fornication. James, if you want to stay away from fornication, you can do it, not because you are married. There are a lot of things you can do. At 25, as a young man, you're supposed to marry a woman that you're older than 7 years maximum, 3 years minimum. So James, right now if you are 25, the woman you marry, how old should the woman be? Counselor, are you of the view that we should have a professional counseling or a professional counselor or a married counselor in the church other than the pastor himself? Because some pastors want to handle marital problems in church on their own, simply because they don't want the issues to go out. Well, if your pastor happens to be a professional counselor and will not do church counseling, but will do professional counseling, I vote for him. But if he will do church counseling, I don't vote for that. And as a matter of fact, post-marital counseling or premarital counseling can be done by yourself with any professional outside there, and it's better than pushing it to the church, because the church has no marriage. Tomorrow in my lecture of managing stress, Christianity, and temperament, I'll come and deal with that particular issue. Is it very romantic? Just is very romantic. Just that the men will steal all the fried meats before the food is Sandy. Sandra says when the men come to the kitchen, they chew the meat before the food is ready. So when your husband is coming to the kitchen, increase the number of meat. Or let him chew his meat. So when he goes to the dining table, he will have no meat to eat his food. I'm happy today we've learned a lot in stress. So remember that stress is when there's a demand placed on the brain, physically, on each of us. So what are you doing to stress your husband? What are you doing to stress your wife? At what age is it good for a lady to get married? A lady that gets married after 29 to a man who is above 30 will stay in marriage. A lady that married before 30 will be looking for a husband, because you have to enjoy your singleness, endure the singleness, and by 29, 30, you should end your singleness and meet a guy who have ended his singleness and is able to take care of himself, feed himself 3 square meals plus common snack, so he could sacrifice his shelter for you. A man who can provide shelter, pay for utilities, more than what he's paying now. Because I remember before I got married, my utility bills were just under 1,000. When my wife came home, then it went up, because I use 1 air conditioner at a time. My wife uses 3 air conditions at a time. And it's normal. And I'm never against it. I've never put it up before. I feel when she's blowing the air everywhere, it makes me feel the husband that I want to be. It means that I budgeted before she came into the house. So I increased everything in my life, and I made a budget available for it. I fuel 3 cars, 4 cars now. 1 is down. There are 5 cars, 2 is down now. But I fuel all of them, and I make sure that my wife drives them safely. My wife's car cannot be faulty, even if it's not a car bought for her. If the office give my wife a car, they'll regret they give her, because every time it will go for servicing, I'll change the tires before the office will change the tires for her. My wife is very precious to me, and she's the best thing that happened to me on the earth. If my wife and my mother are in the same pool and I need to save one, I promise you, before God and man, I'll save my wife and let my mother die, and we'll do a nice funeral, befitting one for her. I might be a fool for the first time, but I know why. Because the Bible makes it clear that the wife will leave the father and the mother, cling to his husband and become one. This woman has left the father's house and is sleeping in my hen coop. That's a dangerous thing to do. And I honor her with everything I have. My last money for school fees, if my wife demands, I'll give it to her and negotiate to pay the fees. And I've done it before. I put my hand in my pocket, and the last money I have might be 100 Ghana cedis. And my wife needs money. I give her 80 cedis, and I keep the 20 cedis. I might be a fool, but it's helping me. I buy a lot for my wife when I see things that are nice. And she wears things that they ask her, where did you get it? He says, my husband gave me. It makes me feel very important. Please. I'm not saying do what I'm doing, but I learned it from the scriptures. And I've learned by standard that these things help. We love ourselves, but we fight every day. We don't know the cause. Is it our talent or we don't click? James, this might be beyond us. When I treat temperament, you understand. It is not so. It is not so, James. You love yourself, but you fight every time. There's a common conflict that we need to address. It might be that one party could be a melancholy, the other party could be a phlegmatic. The melancholy will join people to hoot at people, but when you joke with them and hoot at them, they get very offended. It might be that there are issues that brings a quarrel and a misunderstanding every time. We'll work on it. Post-marital counseling is very, very essential. Please, what's the difference between church counseling and professional counseling? Professional counseling deals broader on your lifestyle. Church counseling uses the dogma in the church to operate. So they use scriptures and the dogma of the church, not the doctrine of the Bible. What the church wants, they mold you according to it. Counselor is so romantic. Oh, James. A man who is romantic is not normal. I'm not romantic. I'm very caring. And caring is not romance. I'm not romantic at all. Counselor, your wife is lucky. She has to be lucky because she has met one of the men who is raising other men like himself. I wish that other men will learn from me, but it is not easy to learn what I'm doing. I never knew fighting can be a talent. No, fighting is not a talent. It's not. It can be a talent. I think she was going to talk about their temperament. There might be conflict of temperament within their home, and that is why they are facing what they are facing. My friends and loved ones, I'm excited today that we have learned a lot of things here. Remember that stress is when you put a demand on yourself. You are worried about what your husband will eat. He says, whatever you cook, I'll eat. Relax and cook just anything. You can repeat the same meal you cooked for him yesterday. Let him come and eat because he didn't make a choice. The best wife is a woman that you don't make a choice, but they cook something for you. If you are married to a man who tells you what they will eat every day, it makes the marriage boring. It means that you are not the wife in the house. You are the madam in the house. Determine what you are going to eat. Don't let this stresses you. Don't come to a time and say, you to come to the kitchen today to come and cook. Let's do it in a fun way. Today, children, we are going to beg daddy to cook one of his jollof for us to eat. Oh, we are all going to eat daddy's jollof. Do we vote for daddy to cook for us? Yes. So no. Today I'm not in the mood of cooking. So daddy, when will you cook for us? Saturday, okay. So Saturday, daddy will cook jollof for us at 3 o'clock. I mean, can we have just that chat, just that fun? You know, it's nice. And if you know your husband is not that type, then have one-on-one nice chat with him inside. Honey, even do you have a name to call your husband? Tomorrow I'll talk about that. Do you have a name you call your husband? Do you have a name you call your wife? I think marriage is a beautiful thing when couples understand each other. Other, you are truly a counselor. Thank you, Patricia. I've learned so much. In my humility, I want to help marriages to work. And I want to help singles to marry well. Counselor, what medicine do you take if you feel sharp pain in your manhood? Severe one, and it's not going. Okay, talk to me when we leave, because we have to now clinically know what it is. Then I tell you what you have to do. If you have to see a neurosurgeon, yes, I'll let you see a neurosurgeon. It will be very, very good. I'm so happy and excited you have learned something today. Stress can kill you. My sister, we're going to manage your BP. And everybody will see. Counselor, please. Those men who want to split responsibility between their wives that pay bills and let me pay rent, will it be fair if this woman also let this man do chores? No, they shouldn't do chores. When they split the bill, don't pay. Don't go to that target. If I pay bills, they also do chores. No, don't do that. A woman who is a wife is known by the chores you do at home. Counselor, I have a girlfriend. She loves me, but she always wants to be the decision. She always wants the decision to be accepted. Is it advisable to go ahead and marry her, or should I look elsewhere? No, if you're saying that she's the one in the first place, how old is the lady? How old are you? Because the age of the woman can be part of the reason why she wants a decision to be taken every time. And it means that you are empty. Maybe she's older than you. 1 year between a man and a woman is 10-year generational gap. So when you have a woman who is older than you even 1 month, she will make the decisions in your life. And you will see Pepe. Obana Pada, the guys will say, is it good for a woman to propose? And how is it done? I'm sorry. No woman should propose to a man. Anytime a woman proposes to a man, it brings the curse of God over your life. A man must see something in you and you say, wow. Like Adam woke up from his sleep and he said, wow. The Bible says, then the Lord paraded Eve before Adam. And Adam said, this is bone of my bone. This is flesh of my flesh. Because she has Coca-Cola shape. The duna was there. Good hip. Not just a hip. There was a breast. And everything about the woman was different from Adam. So a man must see something different in you so he could come and say, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? You know what I'm talking about? Stress can be triggered by any event, or stress can be triggered by any event that makes you feel frustrated or nervous. Watch the thing that triggers your stress. I beg you. Some women will only dress when they are going to work. Some women will only look good when they are going to church. Some women will only look better when there's a party. This time that there's a lockdown, your hair is unkept. Your face is unkept. You wear just any dress in that house. Because some time ago you were dressing, your husband was not looking and not admiring. Let me tell you, whether your husband will admire what you wear or not, look good. Look good. Your daughter is watching. Your son is watching. How should a wife live at home? You have one dress that you wear every time when you come from work. I remember my mother when she closes from work and comes. There's a dress that she goes to use to cook. One day I asked her, Mommy, why do you do that? He says because of the smell of the food. So when she finished cooking, she goes to change it. When I married my wife, she was doing similar thing like that. I thought that she watched one of my videos. And I say my wife is one learning people. And the people around me, most of them are learning. That's why she has changed now. The other thing that I saw about my wife that I didn't like, and I thought one day she has changed, was that when she comes from work, because we are all hungry and she wants to do something for me, she'll go to the kitchen with her nice dress. And I told her, no matter how hungry I am, please, my love, Your Highness, never go to the kitchen with your dress, your nice dress that you came to work from work with. I know I'm hungry. I know you want to do food for me, but don't go to the kitchen. And she understood me. And I think it was not offensive. Maybe you too, you do same. You want to serve me, but you don't take your nice dress to the kitchen. You too learn how to take the things from the freezer before we come back. This is why you should determine what I'll eat. Because there are other husbands that when you give them the chance to tell you what they will eat, 9 o'clock when you get home, minya fufu ankabedi, minya bayre pa ya chi ankabedi. Oh, nanka na uye kotumire froka krebi dia bom mamia. Ladies and gentlemen, some meals you ask for a certain time, Charlie. A good husband is the one that eats whatever the wife provides, not what he says he wants to eat. Pastor, how did you know that? How did you know that to wife is your rib? You saw it in a vision or in a vision or electrified when you saw her. How do you Sorry, my wife is not my rib. And there is no rib anymore on earth. Young man, don't look for a rib. Just look for a woman who will obey you and is ready to be your slave. How can I help a woman who have been deceived before understand she will not be deceived again? You don't need to help her to know. She has been deceived before by men. The man who deceived her because she wants to be deceived. Don't be the one to change her mind. She needs to seek for help. Direct her to a counselor professionally so that she will go through counseling to change her deception. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. My number has been posted there, 0277 609 6. I've enjoyed my conversation with you. I was just going to do 30 minutes, and unfortunately, we've gone far how God wants us to be. Thank you very much for your contribution. Those of you who need help, 0277 609 644. You call me, we'll schedule how we should do it. Remember, you can manage your stress. Identify the things that triggers the stress in the house. And by so doing, will live a lovely house at this lockdown. Enjoy your lockdown. Be safe. Women, men were not created to talk and to stay home. So when you talk too much, the answer will be, okay, leave it there. I'm talking to you. Why are you nodding your head? What is the for? Am I boring you? Am I irritating you? These questions have no answers. You cook for me, I'm eating, and I say, is the food nice? If I say it's not nice, what will you do? But they want an answer. Loved ones, friends, we married ourselves, not as enemies. Let's enjoy this marriage. If there's any conflict between you and your husband, seek for post-marital counseling. If you are yet to marry, individually go for premarital counseling before you find a girl. Don't go with your girlfriend for premarital counseling. Otherwise, it's like going to your father with a bed that you've moved the feathers and say, Papa, I hope you've enjoyed your stay with me. I've been your counselor, Counselor George Lutterodt. I've been your lecturer in the School of Marriage. If you need anything, call me. All the support you need, call me. But remember, my foundation is still there, Counselor Lutterodt Foundation for Health, Diabetes and Asthma. We are distributing 2,000 bottles of sanitizers for this coronavirus, those who are asthmatic and those who are diabetic and cannot afford. Very good sanitizer. 2,000 bottles with some bottles of water. I want you to join me if you want to do a support to us. Momo account has always been 055 000 5077. I know you write it down. Emmanuel will write it for you right now on the screen. 055 000 5077 is our Momo account. MTN Momo. Any amount of money you send us, we appreciate you for your effort. The same way, if you're using Vodafone Cash, it's 0507 150 223. 0507 150 223. Not forgetting that if you're doing Tigo Cash or Airtel, it's always been the number you know already. 0277 609 644. If you're in the United States of America, you want to support us and use Zelle account, or you want to send money to the United States of America, you can either do the Zelle or call this number. This is the chairperson for Counselor Lutterodt Foundation in United States of America in New Jersey. Yao Fran, my chairperson. Sweet mother, love you so much. Oshame, Ekwane saying, is 862-215-2007. 862-215-2007. Please, take good care of yourself. Manage your emotions. Don't escalate your stress. Manage your stress. Identify the things that triggers your stress. If you are a BP patient, don't increase your dosage of drug because you can't manage yourself. And I believe by so doing, the Lord in his own infinite mercy will come and touch you. May the Lord add to his words. May it bring all understanding to bear. Whatever you don't understand, you can go back and watch this particular broadcast again on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my page. There are more videos there about who a wife is. Counselor Lutterodt on YouTube. Just go and subscribe. There are so many videos that you can watch. You can follow me on Facebook or join our Telegram page. Find Counselor Lutterodt Fan Club. It's there. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. It's Counselor Lutterodt everywhere. And by so doing, the Lord will add to it. May the Lord bless you and keep you. I love you. I love you. Our Zelle account is 862-215-2007. The name is there. Mama ya a champoma, my chairperson, my top fan. Thank you so much. All of you who contributed, Dr. and Mrs. Grayson, thank you so much for your support. Kweku, thank you so much. The rest of you are yet to contribute. God bless you. As my birthday gift, may Jane by force. I love you. Greetings from myself to all of you. It's a pleasure. And sorry for the bad network. I promise you, I'm going to get money and buy a new network so that you enjoy me at this time. Take care. Till I see you again on Facebook or I see you again any other time. Remember, it is yours truly, Counselor George Lutterodt, who is not powerful, but has a powerful God. Thank you. See ya. Bye-bye. Stay home. Stay home. Coronavirus. Waba. Bye. I love you too. I love you too. I love you too. I love you too. Me, I know I love you. I know I love you. Share the video with us. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my page, and share with your friends. If you have any friend at all who is going through Emmanuel, the number is 862, not 882. It's 862